Hello and welcome to week 1 of building a faith-based business with me from scratch. If you randomly stumbled across this video, I just want to say welcome. My name is Lily Kincaid and I am the owner and creator of All Your Heart Company, a faith-based clothing brand hoping to empower people to wear on the outside how they feel on the inside about God and hopefully inspire others to, learn more about God, ask questions, have conversations. This is going to be super fun. I got the idea to start this very recently and God put it on my heart. I know everyone says that, but he really did, to be really open and vulnerable, not only with, the business side, but just the reality of it all. Like I'm starting from, just getting this idea, and I thought there's no better way to hopefully inspire a person out there to start their own business by sharing my journey, or to inspire a person out there to also chase after God and find their own faith, So we're diving in. Welcome to the official first week video for All Your Heart Company. I've decided I'm going to be posting weekly vlogs, kind of video vlogs, where I'm going to be really showing you guys everything. I'm going to be showing you the highs, the lows, the in-betweens, because we're in this together. And so for the first official video, I kind of wanted to introduce myself, tell y'all a little bit about All Your Heart Company, and just kind of what I've been doing this first week. It hasn't been much, but it has been exciting, and I'm going to show you guys everything. Week by week, we're going to go through it together, so I'm really excited. I first wanted to tell you guys why my company is called All Your Heart Company, and obviously, one of my favorite proverbs ever, and one of the most common proverbs, is Proverbs 3:5. So I figured we had to read the Proverbs 3:5 to start this video off. Proverbs is actually one of my favorite books of the Bible. I read Proverbs every single day. I love reading the Proverbs that correlates to the day, if that makes sense. And honestly, this is my challenge. This is my challenge for you for the next week. From whatever day you find this video, I want you to read the correlating Proverbs. So if it's March 30th, read Proverbs 30 and so on. Is there 30 days in March? I think there is. Anyways, you get the point, but I try it. I used to read so many self-help books and I was never fulfilled, because of course nothing that you're searching for is ever going to fulfill you but God. Like nothing is ever going to fulfill you. And one day I was like, you know what, I'm just going to read Proverbs. It's like my mini self-help book along with whatever else I'm reading. But I keep my Bible by my bed and I open it up first thing in the morning. I start journaling and I read the Proverbs of the day. And honestly, the best self-help book. I tell people, if you're watching this video just because you're like, ooh, this looks interesting, I want to learn how to build a business. You don't have to be Christian. You do not have to have a Bible even. You can go on the free Bible app. You do not have to believe in God to get wisdom out of the book of Proverbs. Trust me, it is better than any self-help book. It'll take you a minute, 2 minutes maximum to read every day. So that's my challenge. This is a little sidebar. Your challenge for the week is to read the Proverbs of the day every single day. But anyways, back to the video. All Your Heart Company came to me obviously because of the Proverbs, which we're going to read in a second. Some of y'all may know me from my music, which is just something that I love doing, and I've been making music for about 10 years. I moved to California when I was 14 years old, and I just turned 24, so it's been about 10 years, and it's crazy because you really start to see how, it's only in retrospect where you see how God was working together all of the pieces for your benefit and for his benefit, even when it felt like the world was falling apart, or it felt like, oh my gosh, not this again. And so it's crazy to now see the fruits of that start to pay off, and I'm getting ready to release my debut album, which is so exciting. I'm trying not to talk too much about music on this channel, but if you ever want to listen to my music or find that, I'll link it below. But this is just really cool because it's like, just as that, is taking off, and that fruit from all of the years of hard work and struggling and questioning and doubting myself and continuing to have faith, the fruit is paying off. And so I am just really excited that this is a whole new little company section of my life, and we're gonna get to start from scratch together. So All Your Heart Company came to me. I was praying and fasting, which is something like I never had really done before. All the notes in my Bible are falling out on the floor. That's okay. We're keeping it real. I've always prayed, about things, but I've never biblically fasted and prayed until recently. Like, I'm being honest. I didn't grow up like Christian. I didn't realize that, the Bible says to pray and fast. Like, it's a 2-in-1 situation. And I was praying and fasting about some other things and praying about certain things, and God had told me, Lily, you kind of need to start something like this. Like we're just getting into a million tangents, but hey, that's me. God's just speaking through me right now. I had been looking for clothing to buy as a consumer. I've been looking for clothing to buy that had like some of my favorite Bible verses on it, just because there's something very empowering and conversation sparking, conversation starting when you do wear something that, you know, is important to you. It's like when you wear a sports jersey. Whenever I wear something that's like a sports jersey or something, people always come up to me because they're like, oh my God, you like so-and-so too? Or like when I wear merch from an artist I like, they're like, oh my God, I didn't know you listened to that person's music. Like, oh my God, and you have this instant connection. I was like, hey, why isn't there more stuff like that for Christians, or that's faith-based, that we can, you know, talk to strangers and hopefully it will spark conversation? And I was just thinking about that because I had some pieces that I would always wear, and God was like, Lily, I'm giving you all these tools to start your own. But you're going to share it with everybody. So you're going to be vulnerable and you're going to share the whole process, the highs and the lows. You can't keep it behind a gate looking so perfect and only presenting it when it's perfect. You're going to present the ups, the downs, the in-betweens, the good, the bad, everything, because it's not coming from you. And I was like, bet, but I need to name God. Long story short, I was driving home. This was the end of me fasting. And I was like, oh my God, what do I call it? Like, I don't know what to call it. It needs to be something catchy, short, can't be too long. I have to make sure there's a website available. And I looked down at one of my keys. I'm going to set my Bible down because I brought the key to show you guys. I looked down at one of my keys on my keychain. I'm showing y'all. And it says, let's see if it will be in focus. I hope it is. There we go. And it says, is it in focus? Wait. Prov 3:5. So it says Proverbs 3:5. And I was like, God, all your heart. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. And I was like, thank you. He always answers, you guys. He always answers, I'm telling you. And usually it's in like the funniest of ways, but we love that about him. But Proverbs 3:5, so I was like, oh my gosh, of course, that's perfect, because it's something that I need to remember, to trust in the Lord with all my heart, and I want to empower others to trust in the Lord with all their heart, because, you know, you don't fully know him and fully get to experience that freedom in surrendering control over your own life until it is all your heart. You can trust in him for your career or your romantic life, but you know what? You have to trust in the Lord with all your heart. So I went home, and I'm going to go into this because I'm going to tell you guys what I've done in this first week. But that's kind of where the name came from, hence seeing my keychain. So long story short, we're going to read Proverbs 3:5, probably 6, to start off this journey. Okay, everyone get your Bibles out. If you don't have a Bible, you can go on the free Bible app. Okay, Proverbs 3. My child, never forget the things I have taught you. Store my commands in your heart. If you do this, you will live many years, and your life will be satisfying. Never let loyalty and kindness leave you. Tie them around your neck as a reminder. Write them deep within your heart. Then you will find favor with both God and people, and you will earn a good reputation. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take. I love that. I love that verse so much. And yeah, so now we're going to get into it. I've kind of have a system where I'm going to put some overlays on the screen just to really show you guys kind of how I've been doing this. So the first thing I did, once God told me the name, I was like, okay, bet. I've waited before in certain seasons, and God was like, you need to take action. And so I went home. None of this is sponsored, by the way, too. This is all just not sponsored, but maybe one day it will be. You know what? One day it will be. But I went home. I checked if All Your Heart was taken. All Your Heart was taken. It was like a blank domain, but it was taken. And I was like pondering, and then I was like, All Your Heart Company. Amazing. I got the domain. During this exact same season, which is also why it's so funny, and of course God does this, I've been working on designing my own merch, and I've been learning how to code and design my whole website for my music and my personal brand. And so it's crazy because God was like, Lily, I've been teaching you these tools. Don't you see? I've been teaching you all these tools to use. So I made a Shopify website. It is not open yet to shop, but you can go to it and you can put your email in so that you are notified, because I'm going to be launching different drops based on different chapters of the Bible. Is kind of like a way to, you know, talk more about specific stories and to really get in depth, because I feel like there's so many people out there who don't understand the context or don't understand the real story and all the wisdom we can get from it, and the love that we can get from it. And so I really wanted to, you know, take my time and to kind of create certain collections based on my favorite books of the Bible. And honestly, I've just been praying. So God obviously said the first collection is going to be about Proverbs, but I'm still praying because I don't know what collection number 2 is going to be about, but as a way to teach people more and go in depth. So that way people don't just hear something that somebody says or hear a verse out of context without understanding the full teachings of it, if that makes sense. But I got my Shopify store set up. You can sign up for the email list so that way you're notified right when it drops. But that's kind of what I did the first 1 day or 2. I first 2 days, I'm so excited, you guys. That's why I'm like freaking out. The first 2 days I did that, and then I went and got the Instagram account, which you can follow the Instagram account. I just posted the Instagram. We have an X account. There is a TikTok, I believe. Yes, and a YouTube. And obviously, because you're watching this video on YouTube, but I made the social media accounts. So that's kind of, if you're also starting a business, you need to make sure that you have like the website domain that you like, that you can reserve the Instagram accounts. Make sure your name that you want for your brand is available before you go and like select your website, just because, you know, just check everything first, then make sure you reserve that, make an email account, etc., whatever else you need to do. The next day, I was playing around with logos. Now, it's difficult to know what to do for a logo because I knew I needed a logo that obviously said something about all your heart. That wasn't just a heart, but oftentimes logos on clothing items are really small, and I like the way they look on certain things, but it has to be legible and readable, and I decided I wanted like a heart with all AYH shaped in the heart, if that makes sense, kind of. And so I'm showing you this little piece of paper. I hope you can see it. I'm showing you this piece of paper. So I was just kind of drawing some different things. Here we have a little sketch. I tried to like make it by hand, but I was like, it needs to be neat, it needs to be perfect. Now I'm gonna show you guys a little overlay. So I went onto Canva, I believe, in PixArt. Canva and PixArt, you know what, you can use whatever you want. I love Canva. Some people hate on Canva. I love Canva. I love PixArt on my iPhone. I do so much editing on my phone. So if you don't have a computer, if you don't have these, fear not. Fear not, you can use your iPhone. But I designed this logo, this little heart logo, and I really just kind of love the way it looks. It's obviously, it's not, there's no text on it, but it needed to be something small for future designs. So that was my step 2 that I did after getting all the socials down. And then honestly, I really started kind of creating, and I'm currently at a place now where I'm creating the Proverbs collection right now and designing that. I love getting creative. If you've seen my music, or if you're coming to this channel and this company from my music, you'll know that like all the music videos, all the cover art, all of the creations of that merch and stuff, like I all do by hand. So I love creating things. So that is kind of what I'm going to be doing this next week. So vlog number 2, y'all are going to see that, because I'm not by trade, I'm not a graphic designer, but I've just kind of picked up skills, and you can learn so much with YouTube. And honestly, like if there's any of you guys watching this, if you're ever like, Lily, I need help with this, literally comment. I will answer the questions. I will help you guys, because we're all in this together. And yeah, so that's kind of what I did for the first couple of days. And what's really exciting is I just got this package yesterday in the mail. I wanted to make a hat because I wanted to start wearing it. And as I was creating, you know, the design, so I could meet people and talk to them and whatever and whatnot. And this is the first thing I've made. This is just like, honestly, I think this is something I'll keep on the website. It'll be like the classic, almost just for the brand, but it's trust in the Lord with all your heart, a white hat with the logo. So this is the logo I ended up designing, and I wanted to test out how it looked on, you know, a piece of clothing, obviously. So I love it here. Obviously, this is just a white hat embroidered with black, but then on the back of the hat, it says Proverbs 3:5, which I love. So I just unboxed these last night. You guys. But that was kind of it. Like I made this design on my phone. Obviously, I just showed you guys how I made this, and I wanted to test it out and have something to wear, because I want people to start asking questions. And you know what's crazy? I also made it in a navy thread. I'm still deciding if I like navy. I do like the navy. I might do navy with red. Imagine my nail was the color. Wouldn't that be really bold? I just feel like that would be unique and a good colorway. And I thought, what better way than to have these ready for summertime and springtime? So I think these are going to be like the company classic collection hats. And then I'm going to have, I'm thinking about, I think I'm going to do like, there's going to be a sweatsuit, because I love wearing sweatsuits, especially to the beach and when it's cold and cozy, but that is cool and fun. And then maybe a hoodie and a t-shirt for every kind of collection, but we're just going to see where it grows. But this is totally raw and real. I'm filming this on my iPhone right now because, you know, God was like, Lily, this isn't for you. This isn't like, first of all, it's like all these ideas, the Bible came from him. So it's not even like you coming up with these verses. And I was like, okay, God, I'm listening to you. He was like, you're going to share it all. And my whole goal of this company is just I want people to reflect what is on the inside of them on the out, and use that to meet new people, to have conversations. Our generation, it seems like can't talk to strangers. And I miss it when, you know, you'd be in the grocery store line and talking to people or just having nice conversation. And I believe that, you know, we're going to spark conversation by wearing these pieces of clothing. And ultimately, with sharing this with you guys, it's like I want to inspire at least one person out there to start that business. If there's an idea or something God has been putting on your heart, take this as your sign to go for it. You do not need to know the answers, because if you know everything, you don't need faith. I thought about that. I was like, you know what? If you knew how it was all going to play out, it's easy, because you don't have to, you're in control when you know how everything's going to be. But having faith is believing and taking action in things when they're not seen. So, this is having faith, and I want you guys to have faith, and I'm just so happy you guys are here. So I guess this video is nice and short and sweet, basically. So I'm very excited. Make sure to subscribe. Send this to a friend. It's going to be week by week. I'm going to be showing you guys the highs, lows, everything in between. You can also follow the socials and sign up for the allyourheartcompany.com email list if you want to be one of the first people notified. I'm excited. I'm nervous to put this out, but we're in this together. And you know what? I'm trusting the Lord with all my heart, and you're trusting the Lord with all your heart. So I love you guys, and I will see you guys next week.